So this definitely is big news and is a big shift from what currently is in place. Looking at the current fees, that are associated with this H-1B visa application, much lower numbers. We're looking at about a $215 fee to register for the lottery and about a $780 fee for what is called a Form I-129, just a supplemental petition. And so what this would essentially do is this is an additional $100,000 fee that would, essentially kind of, make the pool available of those who are, eligible to apply for this that much smaller. So this is the latest, technique or strategy on behalf of the administration to really curtail the legal immigration. And that's important because on the campaign trail and where he got a lot of votes and support, at least from the people I spoke with while covering him, was on really curbing the illegal immigration aspect, right? We're getting, smaller numbers at the border, of course, ramping up the deportations. But this is, switching over to the legal side of things. And this is particularly an area, in big tech and looking at workers there. Mm-hmm.
Hadriana, that's what kind of caught my attention. We hear H-1B, and that's what I think of as the tech industry. And I think about, wait, there's been a bunch of tech CEOs that went with the president over to the UK. And then was it last week they had the big dinner or a week or so ago?
That was last week.
It was just last week, like at the White House. So I just wonder, whether or not he's been having conversations with the tech industry who are saying, we need these workers. And then he's saying, okay, well, I just wonder what we know about the backstory here.
Yeah, I mean, definitely this is kind of example of, or something to point out here is that there is division, within the different factions that make up, not just the Republican base, the MAGA base. And we actually saw this come to light last winter. We saw kind of a big fight that escalated on X and other forms of social media, in which we had people such as Elon Musk, as who was earlier involved with the government efficiency kind of cost-cutting initiative, as well as Vivek Ramaswamy, who previously ran, he also at one point was involved in that effort. They were people who were really supportive of the idea that this could help with the labor force and should be something. And then there have been others who are more conservative, really not agreeing there.
Right. So, Hadriana, I'm glad you brought this up because I was trying to remember who was on what side of this fight. So I'm really glad you brought that up. Who wins out here in $100,000 fee associated with this visa? Which side of the contingent is the president listening to here?
Well, essentially, what we can kind of glean from this is that, again, this will really minimize the amount of people who are eligible to apply. So if you're looking at curtailing this legal immigration, that seems to be kind of what people who are on the more conservative or far to the right side of this base would like. And I think it's important to note, we're still looking at early, economic data that's coming in. And there was recently a CBO report that kind of suggested looking at some of the kind of a combination of the tariffs, the taxes, and that we are seeing population declines as a result of this shift in net migration and how that could potentially negatively impact the economy. And economists had been worried about this. So that's something that we're also keeping an eye on. Yeah.